Seeing none, we'll move to the next item, which is a special presentation. Mr. Fontenot.
Well, good evening, Mayor Taylor and commissioners and city staff and members of the public. My name is Britt Fontenot. I'm your Economic Development Director. And tonight it is my distinct honor to introduce to you Ms. Trang Nguyen, who is visiting Bozeman as part of the U.S. State Department's Wisely Professional Fellows Program and ICMA. Now, Wisely stands for Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative. The Wisely Professional Fellows Program is a professional development exchange program that gives participants across Southeast Asia, aged 25 to 35, the opportunity to spend 5 weeks in the United States, including 4 weeks working directly with American counterparts in individually tailored work placements with nonprofit organizations and state and local governments, as well as private sector offices across the country. ICMA brings over participants from Brunei, Myanmar, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam to build their practical expertise and leadership skills, as well as develop professional networks in the areas of environmental sustainability and legislative processes and governance and civic engagement. During these placements, fellows build their practical expertise, leadership skills, and professional networks. Ms. Nguyen's hometown is Danang, Vietnam, where she works as a researcher of mechanisms and policies at Danang's Institute for Socioeconomic Development. The mission of which is to proactively manage and conduct research and consult on development and technology and support a knowledge transfer network on the national and global scale, thus contributing to the sustainable development of Danang City. Ms. Nguyen and her organization are eager to establish a relationship with Bozeman to encourage possible future collaboration. She also shares interest in the idea of expanding public-private partnerships in Danang City and receiving grassroots feedback on community development projects. In her current position, she liaises with government agencies at all levels, some NGOs, private enterprises, and international partners. Her interest in participating in Wisely is to better understand the legislative process and governance from the U.S. perspective. Ms. Nguyen and her colleagues from Wisely, hosted all around the United States and pursuing a wide variety of interests, represent the future leadership of nations involved in this initiative. Hosting Ms. Nguyen in Bozeman provides unique opportunities to examine our collective past through a new lens and work collaboratively to learn new ways of working together for the future. We're fortunate to have her here in Bozeman, and you will see Trang around City Hall and accompanying me to meetings around Bozeman, Helena, and Missoula. I invite the Commission, the staff, and the public to please introduce yourself and say hello. So I'd like to thank the Mayor and the Commissioners, and please join me in welcoming Ms. Trang Nguyen to Bozeman, and she'd like to say a few words to the Commission, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Major Taylor, City Commissioner, staff, and the citizens of Bozeman. My name is Trang Nguyen, and I'm from Danang, Vietnam, where I work as a policy researcher for the Danang Institute of Socioeconomic Development. It's my pleasure to be here in Bozeman, Montana. As I was born and raised in a tropical coastal country, Bozeman has the coldest weather I ever experienced, but I received a warm welcome since my arrival in Bozeman 1 week ago. Every time I walk outside, there's always somebody who passes by and says hello to me. I have had a great time here thus far. Since my arrival, I have enjoyed getting to know Bozeman, as well as visiting other Montana cities. But I can say that the vibe of the fast-growing city is more attractive to me. Rick and his family has helped me to understand many great things about Bozeman and Montana, and I would like to spend a moment to thank him. Britt, I would like to thank you for your hospitality, for always trying to speak slowly and clearly while explaining the many complicated issues, and for organizing this honor, welcoming, and introduction for me. Thank you again for spending time assisting me in understanding the economy's potential and value of Bozeman and Montana. It's my honor to participate in tonight's City Commission meeting. This is the second commission meeting I have attended, actually. As last Monday meeting, I was really impressed with the manner in which your meetings are managed, especially public comment. And although that is only 3 minutes long, the public comment portion of the meeting, which provided the opportunity for each resident to speak, demonstrated the values of the citizen voice in local government. And this is something that I would like to happen to invoke in my city too. Last week, I wondered how it felt to stand here at the podium and address Bozeman elected officer. And tonight, I can say that I have had that experience, and it includes the feeling of being heard and valued. Vietnam and United States had a complicated and conflicted past. However, our two nations share the potential for a bright and collaborative future. My hope is that the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about Vietnam is not past conflict, but bright future and partnership. It's my sincere hope that through the exchange we can establish a relationship between Bozeman, Montana, and my hometown, Danang City, or Vietnam, to foster education, tourism, economic cooperation. And by doing that, I believe that we can close the chapter on the past and together move toward a brighter future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So I need to get to the microphone. So if you could just maybe switch sides. So I want to thank Trang Nguyen and welcome to the city of Bozeman. Officially welcome you to the city of Bozeman. It is an honor for us to host you from such a large city in Vietnam to such a small city in the United States of America. And it is touching to know that we actually could teach you something that you don't know. So I really appreciate that. Your presence will make a huge difference in international affairs and in goodwill, because this small city building a relationship with someone so far across the Pacific Ocean is just a small part, but an important part of us building understanding with countries all over the world. And in the long run, the cause of world peace, which is near and dear to me, and peace being near and dear to everyone in the world, is furthered by your presence here and by your sharing what you know about the economy of Vietnam, and as a young entrepreneur growing up in a big city, and what we can give to you and what we can share to you are equally important. So this increased understanding will make a huge difference to us, and I hope it will to you as well. I think this could be the beginning of a lasting and trusting relationship, which will make a difference to all the people of Vietnam and to all the people of the United States, particularly as we look to the future and recognize that it's a small world that we live in, and we are all interdependent on one another for the survival of the world. And therefore, I am truly honored to welcome you to the city of Bozeman, and I have a small gift for you. Which is a bunch of memorabilia from the city of Bozeman that you can take home. And there's a nice baseball cap. I don't know if they wear baseball caps in Vietnam that says Bozeman across the top, and a few other things. So thank you so much for this exchange.
Thank you very much.
If I can indulge in just 30 more seconds, I was remiss in not presenting to the City Commission members red ribbons.